I never imagined that the person I trusted most, my own son, would betray me. It was a crisp fall morning, the kind where the leaves are turning gold and the air smells like change. I was in the kitchen, brewing my coffee, thinking about the day ahead, when suddenly the door burst open. Black suits, badges flashing, and agents stormed in. They grabbed me, cuffed me right there, and told me I was under arrest for crimes I never committed. My mind raced. This has to be a mistake. Who could do this to me? And then I heard the truth. The person who filed the complaint, who twisted the law, who turned my life upside down, was my own son. The boy I raised, the boy I gave everything to, had betrayed me in the worst possible way. And in that moment, I realized my life would never be the same. Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Harlan, and this is my story. Not the kind of story you hear in those happy family videos or tales of success. No, this one is full of pain, the kind that cuts deeper than any knife. I'm sitting here in my old farmhouse in Ruston, Pennsylvania, the same place where I raised my son, Jake. It's been a year since it all went down, and I still wake up at night staring at the ceiling, wondering how the boy I gave everything to could turn against me like that. If you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you're from a small town like mine, or maybe you have your own family secrets eating away at you. Pull up a chair. Let me tell you what happened. It's a story of love turned into betrayal. A father's dreams shattered by his own flesh and blood. By the end, you'll see why I have to share this, to warn, to heal a little, and maybe find some justice in telling it. I came to Ruston back in the 1980s, fresh out of the service, with nothing but a duffel bag and big hopes. This town was thriving back then, steel mills humming, factories belching smoke like dragons. I got a job at Harlan Steel Plant, not my family's plant, just a coincidence in the name. 12-hour shifts, hands calloused from heat, lungs full of that metallic tang. But I didn't complain. I was building a life. Then I met Sarah, my wife, the love of my life. God bless her soul. She passed away from cancer 10 years ago. Soon after, we had our miracle, Jake. From the moment he was born, those big blue eyes staring up at me, I knew I'd do anything for that boy. Raising Jake wasn't easy. Sarah and I scraped by, working extra shifts, weekends, holidays, whatever it took to put food on the table and save for his future. I remember those freezing winters. I'd come home, frozen to the bone, yet I'd still sit with him, reading stories about heroes and adventures. One day, son, I'd say, you'll go to college, make something of yourself. Leave this town if you want, but know your old man believes in you. Jake was smart, straight A's in school, captain of the debate team. Teachers said he had a bright future in law. I beamed with pride. When Sarah got sick, I took extra shifts to cover the bills. Jake was just a teenager then, but he saw it all, the hospital visits, the quiet nights when I'd cry alone in the garage. He hugged me once and said, "Dad, I'll make you proud. I'll fix this." I believed him. We were unbreakable, or so I thought. After Sarah passed, it was just the two of us. The house felt empty, echoes in every room. Jake threw himself into books and earned a scholarship to Penn State. I drove him there myself, tears in my eyes as I unloaded his boxes. "Call me anytime, kid," I said. And he did. At first, stories of classes, friends, and his fancy law firm internship. But then things changed. After graduation, Jake moved to Philadelphia. Big city lights, suits, and ties. He was climbing fast, working for one of those elite firms downtown. I visited on holidays, proud as a peacock, but I noticed the distance. He was embarrassed by my work boots, my stories of the factory. "Dad, times have changed," he said. "Focus on the future, not the past." But the past caught up with me. Ruston wasn't what it used to be. The mills closed in the 90s. Global competition, they said. But the real killer was the pollution. A big corporation, Apex Industries, bought out the old plant and started dumping chemicals into the river. Our water turned brown, kids got sick, fish floating belly up. I retired early on a pension that barely covered the mortgage. But I couldn't sit idle. Folks in town started whispering about protests. At first, I just signed petitions. Then I joined meetings at the community center, old-timers like me, worried mothers, even the mayor's wife. We weren't radicals. We just wanted clean water and jobs back. I spoke up at one rally. This government is supposed to protect us, not sell us out to fat cats in boardrooms. Jake hated it. He'd call, voice sharp, "Dad, stop embarrassing yourself. You're making me look bad at work." Turns out, his firm represented Apex. Conflict of interest? Hell yes. But I kept going. I joined marches, held signs saying, "Justice for Ruston." It felt right, like honoring Sarah. She always said stand up for what's fair. Jake warned me, "One more stunt, and you'll regret it." I laughed it off. What could go wrong? My own son wouldn't hurt me. Then it happened. A crisp fall morning, leaves turning gold. I was in the kitchen, brewing coffee, when the door burst open. FBI agents, black suits, badges flashing, swarmed in. "Robert Harlan, you're under arrest for sedition against the United States government." Sedition. Me. I dropped my coffee mug, shards everywhere. They cuffed me right there, in front of my faded family photos. "This is a mistake," I stammered. But they read the charges, inciting rebellion, threatening to overthrow the government, based on evidence from speeches and online posts I never made. At the station, the truth hit me like a freight train. The complaint? Filed by Jacob Harlan, my own son. Jake, the lawyer, had twisted the law like a pretzel. He claimed my protests were calls to arms, fabricated social media rants, and even bribed witnesses. Why? Apex was pressuring his firm for a big win, and my activism was a thorn in their side. Jake saw me as collateral. "He's ruining my career," he told a colleague. I later learned. To get that promotion, he betrayed me. His own father sent me to jail on a lie. Jail? God, jail breaks a man. First night, curled on a thin mattress, concrete cold seeping into my bones. The air stank of bleach and despair, men shouting, guards barking. I thought of Sarah, how she'd hold my hand through storms. "Bob, you're the strongest man I know." But I wasn't strong then. Mornings, I'd stare at the bars, replaying Jake's childhood. Remember teaching him to ride a bike? He fell, skinned his knee, cried in my arms. I bandaged it and said, "Get back on, son. Life's full of falls." Now, he'd pushed me off the cliff. Days blurred. Routine. Slop for meals that tasted like regret. Yard time where I walked laps, dodging gangs. Arthritis flared. Hands swollen. Couldn't even write letters. Who would I write to? Jake never visited. Once, a guard slipped me a phone call. I dialed his number, voice cracking. Son, why? I gave you everything. Silence. Then, Dad, it's business. Stay out of it. Click. That hurt worse than the cuffs. Nights brought insomnia. I dream of the farm, the river clean and sparkling. Jake as a boy fishing with me. Wake up sweating, cellmate snoring. A week in solitary for mouthing off. Pure black, nothing but thoughts. Health went south. Cough deep and wet, probably factory dust or jail air. Meds scarce. Lost 20 pounds. Mirrors showing a ghost. Letters trickled in. Hang in there, Bob. We know it's a setup. Months later, a miracle, or close to it. A journalist, Lena from the Philly Inquirer, got wind of my story. She visited, notepad ready. Mr. Harlan, your story's blowing up. Protests were peaceful. Charges are bogus. Turns out, Jake's evidence had holes. Fake timestamps, coerced witnesses. Lena dug deep, exposed Apex's bribes to the firm. Public outcry, rallies outside the courthouse. Hashtags like hashtag Free Bob Harlan trending. Jake panicked. I heard he quit the firm. Promotion dust. Court reconvened. Evidence thrown out. Charges dropped. They released me on a rainy Tuesday, suit hanging loose. Stepped out to grey skies, Lena waiting with a coat. You're free, Bob. Free. My heart wasn't. Drove home alone, house dusty, Jake's old room untouched. Sat in that armchair, same as now, and wept. For the boy I lost. Jake showed up a week later, eyes red, suit rumpled. Dad, I messed up. He spilled it. Pressure from bosses, greed blinding him. I thought it'd shut you up, get me ahead. I looked at him, the man who'd become a stranger. Son, you didn't just hurt me, you killed a piece of us. He begged forgiveness, swore to make it right, sued the firm, donated to clean water causes. We talked for hours, raw and real. I forgave him, not easy, but blood's thicker. Now, he visits, helps with the farm. We're